Honestly, it is sort of nice to have the walk and that in the morning. I feel like it an extra way
You can go for a run and then soccer and then go.
Sure.
Okay. So we're learning the fourth level. Daimim Sameh Chai Medaber relative to the world. Daimim Sameh Chai Medaber relative to us. Daimim Sameh Chai Medaber relative to Avodah. Now the Rebbe did not talk about all four levels relative to Torah. We talked about the highest level and the lowest level. The lowest level is Oisius, saying the words of Torah. The highest level is the bittul of Torah. But Davka, it's only through the statement of Torah. The Medaber, the Dibur, brings about a revelation of the Medaber in Torah, the highest level. Okay? So the last thing the Rebbe, even according to those deists that say that mitzvahs might have only been done in Eretz Yisrael, everybody agrees that there was Torah in Chutz La'aretz. So let's start 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 lines up from the bottom of page 421. We didn't get all the way to the bottom. This is the end of the discussion on Torah. Well, on this aspect of Torah. No, because we're going to get into something very, very difficult, and we'll see how we navigate that. That which was brought about anew at Matan Torah. Ella shekoydem Matan Torah haya bechinas yediah havana v'saga iyun v'amaka b'Torah. Before Matan Torah, there was all of this deep understanding of things. That all existed. Shekol zehu bechinas gvul, and all this is limited. Like human's ability, even Avram Avinu, his ability to understand is still limited by virtue of the fact that he's a human being. Obviously, relative to our understanding, his is unlimited, but still ultimately an expression of gvul because it's him.
What does Shekha stand for?
The kuf is not to be where's the shekha?
Shekol.
Shekol zeh. All this, sorry. Shekol zeh u'bechinas gvul u'mitzad or zeh I efshar liyas hazikuch bagashmi. Since this is a limited level of light, so man, it can't possibly be that physical reality will be completely illuminated by it, by virtue of its limitation. Therefore, the limitation of physicality will affect it. And what's necessary to bring about an elevation of physicality and a complete birur of physicality. And again, we talked about this on Thursday. This is Machras HaShabbos. We saw the same in Sfiras Eimer. What is it that allows us to bring about the change in our midos in Sfiras Eimer? A level called Machras HaShabbos, beyond Shabbos, beyond the natural order. As much as Shabbos is the highest place in the natural order in time, it's still part of Teva. And it's limited to the extent that it has a beginning and has an end, and it's not able to elevate, by virtue of the fact that it has a beginning and end, it's not able to elevate all other levels of time. Right? Yom Rishon is still Yom Rishon. Today's still Chol, even though yesterday was Kodesh. But the Kodesh of yesterday wasn't able to bring the level of today into a state of Kodesh. It's still Chol. Okay, so too, the level of Torah that the Aves learned wasn't the level of Torah that was able to bring about a beater of the world. Why? Well, because their level of Torah was limited to their own intellectual understanding, because that was the ikar of Torah, Havana Vasaga, contemplation, understanding. That's what Torah was about. So now the it's not a chiddush of this minor, but one of the chiddushim that the Rebbe is teaching us is the ikar of Torah is not Havana Vasaga, is not comprehension, even though obviously we have to comprehend it, and we're trying to comprehend it, but the ikar is to say the words. When you're trying to comprehend it, you have to say the words, to bring it down into Eilam Hazeh Gashmi, into physical reality. And it's dafka the Torah that was given at Matan Torah, the Torah that was given on Har Sinai. That's the Torah that is able to bring about a birur of the lower levels. Dafka. Because it comes from a place beyond limitation. So therefore the limitations of the lower levels don't affect it. So it can penetrate into the lower levels and elevate the lower levels. Again, similar to Machras HaShabbos, which was the Keiches of the Neshama. Matan Torah. So what happened to Matan Torah? Nitin bechinas a dibur Torah, the level of Medaber. That level was revealed. That level is beyond any limitation, and that level can penetrate into physical reality and elevate physical reality and make it godly. How? We have to be Medaber. So it's so interesting, because the highest level is the lowest level. Again, And that's, now again, the Rebbe hasn't explained the intermediate levels here, but we did on Thursday. We talked about it, right? A Meiser Shayasu, there's the idea of learning Torah for the sake of knowing what you have to do. There's Iyun Torah, which is the seichel of Torah. And then there's Vayidaber, which is the bittul of Torah. Shua or shaloi lefi erech nivra. This is a level of light beyond created reality. Lefi erech, commensurate to. It's not commensurate to the nivra. Ve'inyan zeh misyaches ledibur dafka. This relates to dibur specifically. Kanal shamayla haYosel yerna, that the highest level is misgala b'dibur dafka, is revealed in dibur. And what's the highest level? Medaber. What's the lowest level? The oisias adibur. Oh, but it's in the oisias adibur that the highest level is revealed, the medaber. Now that's also a simple pshat, but that's also the pnimis of it all. I mean, how do you reveal? Where is medaber revealed? What do you speak? What are you speaking? Oisias. V'zeu masha Torah misyacheses l'dibur, and that's why the Torah connects to speech. Yine ikar inyan mailas Torah. Ultimate expression of the greatness of Torah, the bilti gvul of Torah, the unlimited level of Torah. Ein ze bechinas havana v'asagah Torah. It's not the contemplation of Torah. That was also before Matan Torah, and that's limited. My understanding of the words I'm saying is limited. Saying the words is what connects me to the Ein Sofiyut of Torah. That's how you connect to the Bilti Gvul, the unlimited level of Torah, by saying the words. Understanding it, so of course understanding it is amazing. It's incredible, it's very important, it's absolutely necessary. That being said, the understanding is limited, so I'm not connecting to the unlimited aspect of Torah, I'm connecting to a limited expression of the unlimited Torah. The Torah Be'etzim is unlimited. The Torah Be'etzim is the Eibishter himself. God and the Torah are one. Okay, how do I connect to the God and the Torah as one? Well, I sit and learn Torah and I try to understand it. Okay, say it. But what is it that's ultimately connecting me to that level? The fact that I'm saying the words. Not the Havana Vasaga. I have to understand. But the Havana Vasaga, by definition, is limitation. The Dibur is not limited. Why? Because I'm saying the words of the Eibishter, not my words. Tan l'shonim rasecha. There's two differences. Interesting, because there's a milamaila lamata and a milamata lamaila of it all. There's above, below, and below, above it all. There's a pasuk that says Tan l'shonim rasecha. What am I saying? When you're learning Torah, what are you doing? You're saying God's words. Oh, unlimited. Are you understanding God's words? You're understanding God's words, but not in an unlimited way. But when you're saying God's word, is there any limitation in what you're saying? No, those are the words. There's no limitation. Right? So, Ta'an l'shanim rasecha, that David HaMelech says, let my tongue, my mouth, say your words. Through that action, we're connecting to you, yourself, mamish.
Isn't there still though? And maybe the Rebbe is referring to someone who's a Talmid Chacham, but if your Hebrew is lacking, isn't there then a limitation to what you're saying, and that you're saying the words but you don't fully know what's coming out of your mouth?
If you're learning Torah Shabbat Peh and you don't understand it, even though you're saying it, you're not Makayim the mitzvah of Talmud Torah. 100%. You have to understand. But what's really interesting, what if you're learning Torah Shabbat Sav and you don't understand it? You're learning the written Torah. You're learning psukim in Vayikra. We've got a clue what they're talking about.
Yep.
You're saying them over. You're Makayim the mitzvah of Talmud Torah. That's called Talmud Torah. Why? Because the intrinsic kedusha in the Torah. Because the ikra is not Havana Vasaga. There has to be Havana Vasaga. Of course there has to be Havana Vasaga. In order to be Makayim the mitzvah of Talmud Torah, if you're learning Torah Shabbat Peh, because Torah Shabbat Peh is all about trying to understand Torah Shabbat Sav, right? Torah Shabbat Peh is explaining it. So then obviously I have to understand it. But the ikr performance of the mitzvah is not, if I sit and look at it, if I'm sitting and learning a Gemara and I'm not moving my lips, I'm also not Makayim the mitzvah of Talmud Torah, even though I understand every word that Rav and Abaya, Rashi, Tosfos, and all the Rishonim are saying. Also not Makayim the mitzvah of Talmud Torah. Because the mitzvah isn't to think, the mitzvah is to say. I have to understand what I'm saying. It's really an amazing idea.
Yeah.
I mean, they're both ultimately necessary. The question is, what's the Iker Mitzvah? That doesn't mean I shouldn't contemplate. I have to contemplate. I have to think about it. Sometimes I'll look away from the book and think about it. Okay. Even though some people, it is true, we talked about this on Thursday, some people do find it much easier to understand something if they're saying it over to either the Chavrusa themselves. The whole reason of learning the Chavrusa, why are we learning the Chavrusa? You have to be Medaber. You're not sitting in some carrel in a quiet library, and if you move your chair, someone goes, shh. Right? You're sitting across from someone in a noisy room talking about Torah. Ah, good deal. Dibur, it's all Dibur. Kel Torah, the voice of Torah. There's also another pasuk that says, Kol mi shekara Kadosh Baruch Hu kara kenegdoi. Anybody who reads, so Kadosh Baruch Hu is reading across from you. Meaning, when you're sitting and learning Torah, who is saying the words that you're saying? The Eibishter is repeating to you the words that you're saying. You might not see him or hear him. Don't worry, he's there. Okay, if you do see him and hear him, there might be reason for worry. Okay. And I mean, if people like us, right? There are people who do, but it's a different. Okay, so there's that level also that we're, so to speak, causing a Kadosh Baruch Hu to say the Torah. By virtue of us saying it, he says it. It's also that. But there's the level of Ta'an Lashon Yimarasecha, the complete bittul of me to him. What words do you want? You're a Medaber. That's one of the most unique characteristics. It might be the most unique characteristic of you. What do you want that Medaber to be expressing? Whose words? The Eibishter's. Why can you speak? So you can say what God says. You want to say what you say? There's enough people saying. The world is full of all the people talking about what they think. Right? You want to cleanse the world, you want to elevate the world, you want to elevate all of reality, say what God's words, and that elevates everything. And we'll see why, Dafka Torah, that's the next question. And that it's very hard, the answer, but okay. The beginning of the answer is fine. It's here that it gets extremely difficult. We'll see how we do with it. Okay. Shahare, last line. Hare zeh hayagam kedem matan Torah. The ikar inyan of Torah hu mashem nitin by matan Torah. The ikar inyan of Torah is that which was given by matan Torah. In the midbar dafka, in the place that's lo yeshivadim, a place that's beyond people, beyond our intellect, beyond our whole reality. Shohu bechinas hadibur de Torah. Now that's going to help us understand why it says Vayidaber Elohim is kol v'amei leimor. It's all about leimor. Right? Okay. The lochen hine klolos of Torah, the whole reality of Torah, misyaches dibur dafka, connects to dibur. Mitzad or zed dafka, and it's specifically the or that you and I bring down into the world through our speaking words of Torah. That's how we bring about the rectification and the purification of physical reality. Okay, now that's the end of the mimer. Now the Rebbe asks a question: why dafka Torah? Because there's other ways of avodah that we know. Well, and that's the next question that I was going to ask, and that's the whole rest of the mimer. And this is where the mimer gets very hard. It's just hard. There's parts of it that are just really hard, and I don't know exactly how it would. Some of it we're just going to read right through, and the stuff that can be explained on the most basic level will be. We'll do our best, but it's amazing. Amnam, however, adayin tzarich lahavin. It is hot in here, Do you want to put it down maybe a little? Because it's stuck on 9. Try it on 19, see what happens. I don't even hear it.
That's what I was thinking.
Maybe.
That's funny, there's no fan mode, to increase the flow.
Can you hear it?
I can feel it.
Okay, so it'll.
It's on 19 and we'll see.
If we're all found here pillars of ice after a while, so turn it off, open a window, and we'll thaw out. It's supposed to be 36 degrees tomorrow.
And 35 today, I think.
Oh, 35 today? Oh, that's hot.
34.
I'm going, so there's no class tomorrow, okay? I'm going to Prague for the day.
Oh.
Just for
the day?
I'm leaving at 5 in the morning, coming back at 11 at night.
Oh my goodness. Enjoy.
Just for bringing. There's a sim there. We're in for bringing with the sim. I teach these girls on Zoom all year long, and so I was there once for Shabbos at the beginning of the year. and we want to say a 3-dimensional goodbye. So
Beautiful. It's a Chabad school.
it's Chabad Sam. They're
Amazing.
great. That's really there.
But
Amazing.
you think you'll be back for
So-
class on Tuesday
Yeah,
morning?
Tuesday morning. I land at 3 in the morning. I'll go to the mikveh. I'll teach class. I'll teach the Gemara class. Then I'm going to go home and crash.
Okay.
Okay.
Sounds like a great plan.
I'll be up anyway. Right? I guess I could just watch the Mets game, but I don't think I will.
You won't get depressed.
I'll watch the Texas Rangers.
Oh, that was awesome.
No, but wait, you're from Chicago.
I know. I'm a Cubs fan.
Okay. You're a Cubs fan.
Yeah.
Yeah. They won once in the last 120 years.
Correct.
That's pretty good.
Long and suffering.
When my family lost their mind doing it. It was great. It was very
Your
fun.
family what?
Lost their mind. We all
Yeah, I'm sure they went crazy.
we all got on a call together. All screamed at each other on the phone. It was great.
Didn't they beat a team that also hadn't won forever? When the Cubs won, weren't they playing a team that also hadn't won
They
for
were,
like
yes.
80 years or
60,
something?
70 years or something, yeah.
Yeah.
The Cleveland Browns, is that what it was?
Yeah, okay. So
Indian
whoever.
Browns. Indian Browns?
Indians, the Browns are.
Baseball, sorry, football, you're right.
Okay. I remember it being a great event in Americana, the Chicago Cubs. Also when the Boston Red Sox won, exactly the same.
Oh, yeah.
This was part of Americana that these teams could never
Oh,
win.
yeah.
It had nothing to do with baseball. It was just
It was
it
an
was,
American
a cosmic,
war.
it was a cosmic
The
reality.
curse of the Bambino. The curse of the Bambino.
That was the Red Sox.
Right.
I think it was the year beforehand, right? Or 2 years beforehand? No.
They were pretty close together. That
Yes.
I remember.
Yeah.
What, it was that guy who caught the ball? and
The Jewish
prevented-
kid.
Yeah, prevented the outfielder from catching the ball in foul territory, and they like tormented this guy.
Okay, no, let's go.
Okay, sorry.
Let's go. No, I started it. I mentioned the Texas Rangers. Who used to be the Washington Senators, and we know what they're about.
Yeah.
That was also a serious existential reality.
Exactly. And like you said, I'm well true with Texas, so it's.
He's about to with the Texas. Medallion sounds loud. Okay, still have to understand. Why is the Birur Dafka Torah? Because we know there are other ways of accomplishing Birur. Tefillah brings about a Birur. Tefillah elevates physical reality. That's why you daven, right? You're davening about your physical reality. Doing mitzvahs elevates physical reality. So why Dafka Torah? Why is the Rebbe talking Dafka about the Inyan of Torah? And why is that the Iker Birur? Right? Mipnei Matzah. Liyer's Birur v'Zikuch HaGashmi. Why must it be that the rectification and purification of physical reality is al yedei, through hamshachas Torah, drawing down the Torah, shu'er shaloi lefi erech hanivraim dafka, that this is light that is not commensurate to the creations. Why dafka Torah? Now I was going to mention the hine. I'm sorry, l'cha'ura hine. At first glance, you would think that the birur, the rectification, should be milamata lamayla. Interesting enough, we just spent quite a while learning a mimer where the Rebbe told us that the whole birur of Sfir Sa'imer is all milamata lamayla. And it has to be lamata lamayla. It can't be milamayla lamata. All of the miracles in Mitzrayim didn't bring about a birur. They only affected the Nefesh Elokis, not the Nefesh Bahamis. In order to affect the Nefesh Bahamis, there has to be a Veda from below. Okay, so now, we have learned, in general terms, have learned Pada B'Sholem Nafshi. A lot of Pada B'Sholem Maimarim. The Rebbe always around Yud Tes Kislev time, Tes Kislev, Yud Kislev.
That was when the Alter Rebbe left prison?
Yes, Yud Tes Kislev, and Yud Kislev is when the Frierdiker Rebbe left prison, the Mittler Rebbe left prison. So there's a lot of, and both of them were saying the same pasuk, Pada B'Sholem Nafshi. Pada B'Sholem Nafshi is a pasuk in Tehillim on the 10th day of the month. That's why the Mittler Rebbe was saying it, because he was saying the Tehillim of the 10th day of the month. The Alter Rebbe was saying it because it's also, you can divide the Tehillim up into 7 equal parts, each one for each day of the week, not the day of the month. We say according to the day of the month. You can also say according to the day of the week. I have a friend who the Rebbe told to say also Lefi the week. So he says Tehillim twice every day. He says
Oh, wow.
30th of Tehillim every day, for the month, and then he says the 7th of Tehillim every day, for the week. So based on that, it was a Tuesday. So the Alter Rebbe was saying Pada B'Shalom also. So that mimer is connected to the freedom of the Alter Rebbe and the Mitzvah Rebbe. Pada B'Shalom means Pada B'Shalom Nafshi. My soul was redeemed B'Shalom, peace. So all of the Maimarim deal with what exactly does that mean? How else can I be redeemed? Right? I mean, isn't redemption a state of peace? I can be redeemed from war, right? Oh. So there actually is a padiyah b'milchama and a padiyah b'shalom. There's a rectification, an elevation that can happen as a result of milchama. That's davening, which is a milchama. The battle, shas krova, shas tzleiser, shas krova. Chazal say that the time of davening is a time of battle. Why? Well, because my nefesh b'hamis has to be convinced to say that the Eibishter is wonderful and incredible, and my nefesh b'hamis is battling that the whole way because it really wants to go eat breakfast. So that's a tremendous battle to get my nefesh b'hamis on board, because tefillah is all about my nefesh b'hamis. Torah, all I have to do is say, and it happens to be very, very interesting. Most people find it very difficult to concentrate when they're davening, but they do not find it difficult to concentrate when they're sitting and learning a page of the Gemara. Why do we have the same issue? When you're learning the page, that doesn't mean I understand it. It might be I have to work very, very hard at understanding it. When I read the words, I'm paying attention to the words. It's not like I'm not paying any attention to the words. Whereas when a person davens, they can get through a page and forget what they just said. Right? Wait, did I say that yet? Yeah. Right? They say Amen Yehesh Me'irab, and then they look back at the page. Where was I? What do you mean, where were you? Taka, where were you? How can you not know where you were? Well, you weren't there, so that's why you don't know where you were. If you had been there, you'd remember, but you weren't there. Right? Okay, so some people put their fingers so they won't lose their place. Okay, you just looked up Amen Yesh Me'irab and looked back down. Wait, did I say that? I don't know. Okay, and that's why, because davening it's a battle. It's true to get the nefesh b'hamis to agree to praise the Kadosh Baruch Hu is a battle. It's a war. It's very difficult, and there are no props. Obviously there's the words of tefillah, but the words of tefillah, as obviously they're very, very holy. But I have to get my nefesh b'hamis to say them, and my nefesh b'hamis might not be particularly interested in saying that. It doesn't mean it's not going to daven, but it doesn't really want to take it very seriously. It's hard to take it seriously. It takes a tremendous amount of preparation and work, etc. Okay, and if we can sit and do all the preparation necessary, get through the first 4 lines of davening with real connection, amazing. What an incredible davening. You won. If you can say the words, and you say those words, and you really think about what they mean, and you know what they mean, and you say them with all of your heart, it means incredible. How long will that last? Well, I don't know.
Lifetimes in...
We'll see. Okay. You might say Shema Yisrael with a lot of kavanah. There's all sorts of things a person might say with real intention, but it's a battle. It's a real battle. Okay, Torah. Saying the words, Shor shenaga chesapara, this ox killed, this gourd, this cow, those words are godly. Saying we just learned, saying those words with your mouth. Now you have to know what you're saying. You have to understand what the words mean.
Yeah.
Interesting enough, though, it's not a battle to pay attention to the words. Right? Someone who's not completely, ADD, age, whatever they call it, right? So they'll have no problem paying attention to the words they're saying when they're reading a Mishnah, reading a Gemara. Right? Okay. What are those words? Those words are elokus. What are they doing? They're bringing about an absolute beer of the world, bishalom. They do not have to encounter the cow or the ox. That cow and that ox are not in their living room when they're sitting down and learning that sugya. Oh, amazing. But they're bringing about an incredible elevation of Eilam Hazeh by virtue of reading words of Torah that are talking about Eilam Hazeh. And they're elevating that aspect of Eilam Hazeh by virtue of doing it. And that's B'Shalom. Now, so why is that the best level of Biur? That's what the Rebbe has to explain. The l'chora hine even a bira etzarich liyes b'derech milamata lamayla. Third line. Hainu. Ba'or sheshayich lenivroim. And we'll see that this is going to be a machlekes Beis Shammai Beis Hillel. Eininu. The be'emes yesh beis oifani bira. There are taka two different ways of bira. This is what we just talked about. Milamata lamayla, milamayla lamata. From below above, from above below. Torah is above below. Torah is holy. Why? God made it holy. And if I connect to Torah, then I'm connecting to something holy. Tefillah, I have to make. Now, tefillah is obviously a holy act, but I'm the one who has to make it a holy act by virtue of me being connected to the words I'm saying. There's the way of birur, rectification, from below, milamata, lamayla, above. Shehu birur la'at la'at. That's slow. That's 49 days. Each day is a different midah. Shu birur da'avayda. That's the birur of avayda, working on yourself. Va'ofen a birur, and that way of birur, shehu milamayla lamata, from above below, al yedei hamshocha sa'or naila, by virtue of drawing down a lofty light, shaloi lefi erech nivroim klal, that's not commensurate to the created reality at all. That's what we just said about Torah in the previous paragraph. Al yedei hamshocha sa'or zeh, by virtue of drawing down this light, stellt sich iber der nivra mitamo. A person is beyond where he was. He's standing in a place beyond where he was standing. He's connected now to a higher level of reality. Was it a milchama? Did he have to grit his teeth and like some people in their davening, they look like they're fighting some boxing match? Right? No. He says, say the words of Torah. Said the words of Torah. He's connected to a godly level. Shua birur de Torah, and that's the birur of Torah. So there's a birur milamata lamayla, and that's a birur of milchama. Rabbi doesn't use that word here, but that's brought in many, many places. And you saw it in Pada B'Shalom. And there's a birur of Shalom, and that's Torah, milamayla lamata. Now, in the Pada B'Shalom Maimarim, of course, there's the question, well, isn't it interesting that the Rebbeim, what do you mean Pada B'Shalom? You were in jail. That's sort of a milchama, and you were saying Tehillim. That's tefillah. Okay, so over there the Rebbe explains why all of the Rebbeim have a Pada B'Shalom Maimarim. They all explain why, or a number of them, why that's called Pada B'Shalom. Okay, say that. But that's the Padiyah B'Shalom. V'zehu ma de'isa. This is the famous machlekes Beis Shammai Beis Hillel. Amazing pshat in the machlekes. Ketzid merakti lifnei akala. Right? Famous Gemara in Ksuvas, also a song that people sing at weddings. You know, Lubavitch doesn't have a song to that, so it doesn't have a niggin to that, so we don't sing it so much. But if you go to non-Lubavitch weddings, they all say, Ketzid meraktim lifnei akala. They have a niggin. It's nice niggin. Very Levitic. Okay? So, Ketzid meraktim lifnei akala. The Gemara asks, how do you dance in front of the kala? And it talks about all sorts of different Rebbeim, Tanoim and Amoraim, how they danced in front of the Kala. There's a very interesting machlekes, Beis Shammai Beis Hillel. The Kala, he Knesset Yisrael. Who's the Kala? The Kala is the Jewish people. I mean, obviously there's a Kala in the Chasna, but on the deeper level, who's the Kala? The Jewish people, Knesset Yisrael. Knesset Yisrael, like Knesset, Beit Knesset.
Oh, okay.
Right? Knesset Yisrael means the Jewish people. The Ketzid meraktim lifnei akala hainu. How is it that you do what? Hamshachas hasimcha b'Knesset Yisrael. How do you bring down a revelation of light in the Jewish people? Simcha, joy. How do you do that? Beis Shammai emrim kala kameshi. The kala as she is. Beis Shammai says that if the kala is short and overweight, you talk about how she's short and overweight. Kala kameshi. Ubeis Hillel, I mean, kala nova chasuda. A kala who's beautiful and chasuda, from the word chesed, gracious, something like that. But interesting enough, passive. Chasuda is passive. Not that she does chesed, she is chesedic. Oh, okay. So let's see what's that all about. Shammai, umiloshin Shammai, hashin bepatach umem bekama. Shammai means to evaluate. The guy who comes and looks at your car, what do they call him in America?
Appraiser.
The appraiser, right. So in this country it's called the Shammai.
Oh.
Right? He comes and appraises the damage to your car, so the insurance company will pay you for whatever it is that they're paying you. Okay. So that's Shammai. So Shammai, Vaser Shatzap, Yeder Zach. He Shatzap is like appreciates, but what does that mean? Meaning Shammai is about this is what it is. He appreciates what it is as it is. Now, not appreciates necessarily in terms of thinking that it's wonderful, just understands this is what it is. L'chein, Beis Shammai Mikala Kameshi. So Beis Shammai says that she is what she is. Kameshi in Velcha Matzav Shtayt Zayin Hamshachas is menim imamshiv, that whatever level she's standing on, that's the level of hamshachas, that's the level of godliness that the person can draw down into the world. Meaning their drawing of godliness down into the world is based on who they are, where they are now. Lamata, down here in Elam Hazan. That's Beis Shammai. Kala Kameshi. The Aveda is from below above. The Aveda is all about where are you, who are you, what can you accomplish right now in your Aveda. So do that, and hopefully you'll progress la'at la'at, and you'll get closer and closer to Kadosh Baruch Hu, and you'll draw down greater levels of godliness through your Aveda by virtue of the fact that you've progressed.
We don't say that as a negative. We're just saying it's beautiful that she's at where she's at. And this is
well, we don't say beautiful. She is what she is,
yeah. Which
means relative to a person. If a person has issues in their Aveda, how do they deal with the issue? Deal with the issue. You have an issue, so you have to deal with it. You have to acknowledge the issue, deal with the issue. Okay, 100%. Beis Hill says, no, she's beautiful. All right, but what about the issues? Oh, let's see. That's the biru milamata l'mayla. The Hillel, shumi loshin ba'alu neroi, that this light was revealed, gilui or milamayla lamato, a revelation of light from above below, which is Torah. Hillel, what do they say? Hine. Beis Hillel im kalan nova chasuda. She's beautiful. Shein mischash in klal. They don't consider at all in matzavi, in the situation that the person's in. Meaning the person might, the gam kesher, he's going further than me, the Rebbe. The gam kasher he chigeres, even when she's chigeres, she's crippled, vasuma, blind. Now the Rebbe's talking in Ruchnis. Hine al yedei gilui or shemi lamayla lamata, by virtue of the revelation of light from above below, vertzi ois, she goes out from being chigeres vasuma. V'nases kalanov v'chasuda. The light of Torah, the light milamayla, if there's a revelation of Elokus, so then what's revealed? Godliness, goodness, light. And therefore what? All sorts of negative reality disappears. Beis Shammai's position is I have to deal with my shortcomings from below above, attack them head on, and try to fix them. Beis Hillel is bathe in the light of Elokus, and Mamela, all of that which has to be fixed will be fixed. Now the Rebbe points out the Chasuda, Lashon Nifal, it's passive. She didn't do anything to become Chasuda. She is Chasuda once you reveal who she really is, so then she becomes Chasuda. Passive. Not a function of her Aveda. I mean, that doesn't mean you don't do anything. Basically, all the things you have to do is, what do you do? So what's this machlekes? It's a very, very famous machlekes. So machlekes, this is, Beis Hill, it's Chassidus. What does the Rebbe tell us all the time? How do you fix yourself? Do good things. Just stay connected to good things. Learn Rambam, do Mitzvah, learn Torah, do mitzvahs. You're going to sit all day and break your heart over the fact that you're not perfect? It's wasting your time. Just go do good things. And when you're connected to positive reality, that brings about positive reality.
Oh.
And the more good things you're doing, so then the more good things you're doing. And so, it's all milamayla lamata. And the Rebbe gave us all of this goodness. So chaparayim, grab the goodness, do the goodness, and gave weiter, go further. As opposed to spending great deals of emotional and spiritual and intellectual energy trying to figure out what's wrong with me and fix it. Oh, so in other words, right now, that doesn't mean that I ignore what's wrong with me and fix it. But I have a problem wasting time. Okay, so then what? So do good things. Stop wasting time. I mean, just involve yourself in positive activity. And then mamela, what happened? What disappeared? I'm not wasting time anymore. Why not? Because I'm doing good things. Right? You have a problem wasting time, so instead of wasting time, go do mitzvah. Instead of wasting time, pick up a book. Instead of wasting time, go find someone who looks like they need a little, like they need someone to say hello, how you doing, what's up, you look a little down, you want to talk about it. Whatever, do something useful with your life. That's the Rebbe Shita in a Rebbe. That's Chassidus B'chal, but the Rebbe is that on steroids. The Rebbe has us doing positive things all day long. And then Mamela, what are you connected to? Positivity. As opposed to sitting there and contemplating my navel all day long as to where I'm holding. Where are you holding? I don't know. We saw this in Leisa Mishakela. It's absolutely crazy in Leisa Mishakela. What does the Rebbe say? A person involved in wondering where they are. Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai on his deathbed finally had time to think, gee, I wonder what I've accomplished in life. Where am I? What do you mean, where are you? Never thought about it? No, he's too busy. Too busy doing what God wants to worry about where he is. Oh, that's basically. Kala chasuda, the kala nova chasuda. If I'm connected to light, if I'm connected to Elokus, then what is there? Elokus! And if I'm sitting there worrying about all of the lack of Elokus that there is out there, so then I'm just sitting and wallowing in the darkness. How do I get rid of darkness? Do some light. Right? A little bit of light pushes away a lot of darkness. It's even a famous Jewish rock and roll song. That's basically it. And be'ikr, that's the difference between a Veda from below and a Veda from above. A Veda from below is me where, and that doesn't mean, the Rebbe doesn't think, the Rebbe doesn't say anywhere that you don't have to work on yourself. Of course you have to work on yourself. Right? But how? By forgetting about yourself and doing good things. Just go do positive stuff. A girl once came to the Rebbe, a young English girl. She was 13, 14, 15. She was a teenager. And she said she doesn't think she's a nice person. I'm not a nice person. I want to be a nice person. What did the Rebbe tell her to do?
Go be a nice person.
Do nice things. So she asked the Rebbe, what does that mean? The Rebbe said, you live in a dormitory? She lived in a dormitory. Yes. You eat in the lunchroom with everybody? So when you go to lunch, bring different people to lunch. Do a nice thing. Put the plate out for someone. Put the knife and fork out for another few people. Do nice things. That's what nice people do. You're going to sit there and contemplate niceness? Or you're just going to go do nice things. That's what the Rebbe is about. Because the Rebbe is real. It's not conceptual, it's not philosophical, it's all about real life. So what are you doing with your real life? Are you using your real life for something real? Are you using your real life for something that's not real? That's what it's all about. But that's because I have this issue and that issue and this issue. Oh, Bemet. So it might be, there's no question, there are certain real issues that people have, and if they have a real issue, then they should go to someone who knows how to deal with real issues and work through their real issues. There are people who need to go to, and this isn't a chas v'sholom, an indictment of anybody. They need to go to, if they have an emotional flu, so they should go to a doctor. They're called psychologists, and a good one will help them. A bad one will kill them. But a good one will help them. The psychologists will help people, there's no question. Okay. So they have the flu. So how long do you have the flu for? I don't know. At some point, you get over the flu. You have to go to a doctor for the flu. You don't have to go to a doctor for a cold. I know people do, but you don't have to.
I'm not that American.
Well,
Don't worry.
I know. You don't have to go to a doctor for a cold, right? You just, remember my father's line? Great line about a cold. You'd come home, my father was a doctor, the old time doctor, finished medical school in 1946. No, 43. Finished medical
This is sick versus not.
He's actually, I realized my uncle finished in 39.
Wow.
In Toronto, but couldn't, in those days, a Jew couldn't work in a hospital in Toronto. So
Really?
Yeah, 1930.
As recently as that. Wow.
It's amazing,
Yeah.
huh? During the Second World War,
That is
when
amazing.
Nazis are killing Jews in Canada, a Jew couldn't be in a hospital in Toronto.
That
My
is
grandmother was one of the
amazing.
people who helped open Mount Sinai Jewish Hospital in Toronto, so that there could be a hospital.
Wow.
That's why they relied on Maimonides hospitals and
Yes.
Sinai hospitals.
So he went to America.
I just thought they were older.
Because in America, he could get a residency. Couldn't get a residency in Toronto.
Oh,
So he moved to America, got married, was in the American Army during the war. He was in Alabama. He was in Tuscaloosa or something. And then he ended at the end of the war. It's funny because at the end of the war, in 1945, so he was discharged. He was on the East Coast, and he and his wife, who was from Pittsburgh, were looking for a place to live. And in those days, what did you do? You wrote chambers of commerce, right? You couldn't look on the internet, right? So you wrote, who knows what Los Angeles looked like, right? How would you know what Los Angeles looked like? Find a picture of Los Angeles in 1945 that'll help you understand what Los Angeles looks like. So you're looking for a place to live. So they wrote chambers of commerce. And you get all this information about the city. So they decided they're going to move to Seattle. Why? Well, because there's a lot less rain than the East Coast. Right? Now, there is a lot less rain in the East Coast in inches. Right? It rains much more in New York than it does in Seattle.
Sure.
But Seattle, it rains every day, 8 months a year, just this little, like London, like just drizzling all the time. In New York, it doesn't drizzle all the time, but when it rains, it pours, right? So there's inches of rain. So they moved to Seattle because they didn't like rain. They didn't want snow and they didn't want rain. So Seattle has no rain, but Hashem moved to Seattle. So they were sort of shocked when they got to Seattle and they didn't see the sun for the first 5 months. But that's where they live. They loved it. It's a beautiful city. They loved it. It's destroyed now, but it was a beautiful place. So they moved to Seattle, which is really fun. But that's why he was in the American Army. So my father, the doctor, used to say to us when he'd come home and we were home from school, he'd say, "Why are you home from school?" "Because I'm sick." He'd say, "You're not sick. You have a cold. You want to see sick? Come with me to the hospital. I'll show you sick." I know, I never tried,
That's great.
I'm
That's
older
awesome.
than he was when he told me that, but I still remember very, very well. I'm a lot older than he was when he told me that. Okay, but if a person's really ill, okay, but say this, so they need help, but your average everyday person, what should a Vayidaber be? A Vayidaber should be connecting to Elokus, Beis Hillel. That is the derech of Vayidaber of Chassidus, and that's what the Rebbe is talking about here. That's the derech of Vayidaber of Torah. What? Connect to the Or. You want to illuminate the dark? Connect to the Or. There isn't a Vayidaber of connecting to not connecting to the dark, but encountering the darkness and illuminating it. There's no question. But there's also the way of Pada B'Shalom where you're illuminating the dark, Mamela. You don't have to encounter the dark. You just involve yourself in goodness, and Mamela, the darkness disappears. And to a great degree, that's the Aved of Chassidus, especially in our generation. That doesn't mean a person doesn't have to work on themselves, but it's a question how. V'zeu oifen abira de Torah, and this is the oifen abira of Torah. Shal yedeim shachas nail, by virtue of drawing down a lofty light, that's beyond the niva. Connect to something beyond yourself. Get out of yourself. That's what brings about the ultimate purification of physicality. And elevates physicality to a completely new level of reality. Beyond itself. It's not just new and improved. It's completely different. It's not a cosmetic change at all.
You said zikuch is purification.
Purification. Yeah, purification.
Yeah.
Birur is rectification, and zikuk is purification. V'zeu masher kosev, o yachzik b'me'azi yaseh shalom li, shalom yaseh li. The idea of shalom. What's this idea of shalom, right? To hold on to my strength, make shalom for me, shalom he will do for me. Okay, so that's all that shalom. We'll just see this and we'll talk about it on Tuesday. I'm sorry, tomorrow.
Enjoy it.
Tomorrow I'm playing hooky. But Amar Razal, the high school, post-high school they're on some trip tomorrow. So that's why I don't teach Gemara, so tomorrow is a good day to go.
You teach the post time. That sounds like a trip.
That's good. I've never, this is the first time I ever did it. I mean, I've always I taught a certain Gemara class here. But for the last, just from Pesach until they leave next week, that short little period, I'm doing the post-high. I took a group of the post-high for whatever reason, and the reason that the powers asked me to, and I said okay. And it's definitely been interesting, I must say. They're great kids. It's a whole different thing. Whole different thing.
Sure.
So, what's the shalom? So we see this all the time. This is brought in Chassidus all the time. Kol ha'esek b'Torah l'shma. Anybody who involves themselves in Torah for its sake, Meisim shalom b'famalia shel maila, brings peace in the. Now, famalia is, I assume, the source of the word family, right? The entourage. You'd say familias would probably be entourage, and the reality above. Ubefamalia shel mata, and in the famalia shel mata, the entourage below. Okay, so now what's above and what's below? So let's just quickly see what above and below is. Right? There's a period on the next line, and then we'll explain it tomorrow. Tuesday. The Meisim Sholem b'famalia shel maila shuhu hamshacha be'atzilus. That's connecting the level beyond Atzilus with Olam Atzilus, and we'll talk about that okay? Umeisim Shalom b'famalia shel mata. That's hamshacha b'bia. That's bringing hamshacha from Olam Atzilus into Olam Bia, into the Olam of Bria, Yetzira, Asiya. 3 different levels of created reality. Atzilus is not created reality. Atzilus is godly reality, but it's a world. What's there? 10 spheres. The home address of the 10 revealed spheres is Olam Atzilus. Okay, so making peace in the upper realms is bringing a hamshacha of a level of infinite godly light into Olam Atzilus. Again, we'll talk about this at length next time we sit. We're just getting the equation. Bringing this infinite godly light from above into Atzilus. From Aliyah Shel Mata is bringing the light from Atzilus into created reality. Bria Yetzira Asiya. Bria is a world of very lofty angels. Gan Eden Elyon, upper Gan Eden. Yetzira, lower Gan Eden. Other angels. Asiya is this world. Okay? Created reality. So there's metaphysical created reality and there's physical created reality. There's also a level of reality beyond. God the Creator. That's Olam Atzilus. 10 spheres. Okay. Bria Yesh Mi'ayin, the creation of something from nothing, obviously very loose translation, right? I have to understand what that means. But what that means is the creation of something created from something which is not created is the transformation from a place called Malchus of Atzilus into Olam Bria. Malchus of Atzilus is Ayin, it's not created reality, it's godly reality. And that gives birth, so to speak, to Bria. What's Bria? Created reality. Metaphysical created reality. Angels. Amazing angels. Okay. Certain levels of neshamas. Where do neshamas go after their time here in Elam Hazah? So they go to Elam Bria, Gan Eden. Okay. I'll stop there. We'll pick up on Tuesday. What we'll do Wednesday, I don't know. I don't have 2 days off this week, but I don't.
I mean, if you're game, I would love to do Chazara with you. Like go, I would love to do Chazara over the minor on Wednesday.
In the beginning of it.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's.
Or what we've already just go what we've done, just
Maybe we'll do that.
make sure it kind of got. I see the
I
flags
have
for
to-
the
okay,
trees.
That's a good idea. That's a good idea.
Okay.
Because Doc's not here,
Yeah.
and we don't want to leave him in the dust.
Thank you, it's very
We're gonna
kind.
leave you in the dust, Doc. We went away in our race car, and there you are, standing there,
Thank you, thank you.
holding your
Appreciate it.
suitcase. Where'd it go?
Where'd the car go?
Where'd they go? Okay, okay.
Have a good trip.
Yeah, it should be enjoyable, Bezrat Hashem. There